All right, time for another list. This time I'm gonna list my 90s favorite albums. I think these albums were influential. They were the ones I I tend to listen to. There are, of course, a few more from these artists that I dig, that I dug, but I'm trying to keep it at one record per artist. So here we go. At place number 10, drum roll, we got KLF's The White Room. KLF's The White Room, I recently got a good vinyl rip of it, and I think it was ahead of its time in many ways. I think the stuff that were done on Exterminator by Primal Scream in the 2000s was kind of the lyrics, everything was kind of done by KLF in the 90s already. Then we got Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar, comeback of the concept album, the most exciting rock singer in a long while. Well, the album doesn't really need any more introduction, it's just a classic album. It was really hard picking between Antichrist and Mechanical Animals. Mechanical Animals is definitely worth being on this list as well, but I had to pick one, so I picked this one. Then we got Type O Negative's October Rust, extremely influential, pretty much put the whole goth thing into metal from being a much smaller movement before. And one of their inspirations, Cocteau Twins, for Calendar Café, a total classic from the 90s. Then we got Superunknown by Soundgarden, definitely a masterpiece as well. Very dark black album, and like many 90s groups, they kind of brought joy by bringing the darkness up to light, like Jung talked about. So it's really powerful album. To somebody not going through, not being able to put those emotions in their conscious mind, it seems a bit dark at first. So as a kid, I thought some of the lyrics were really dark, but now I can definitely see how you can relate to them more. Then we got Oasis, best album, definitely maybe. Space number 4. It's kind of like the Nevermind the Bollocks of the 90s in a way, with a sprint of Revolver, Beatles. Then we got Nevermind by Nirvana, of course, very influential album, place number 4. A lot of people would put this at place number 1, and it is the most influential album of the 90s, definitely. But here I'm going by the ones I think are the best, and number 4 is pretty high place, so I really like Nevermind, so don't get me wrong. Just because it's not number 1 doesn't mean I don't like it. Then we got Radiohead's masterpiece, OK Computer. I guess Kid A was even more influential in a way. OK Computer was kind of like The Wall. And as you can see, I like those kind of albums. I like Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar, I like OK Computer. So the top 3 is definitely more deep albums, conceptual ones. Then at place number 2 is the album that I listen to the most right now from these albums. It's The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. Kind of obsessed by this album right now. I just bought the definitive version, new mix on vinyl, waiting for that, and I'm listening to it on 2496 high-res file in the meanwhile, and it sounds really, really cool. It is a very influential album. If you listen to some of the production and some of the ideas on the album, they have been rehashed by Marilyn Manson, for instance. So just put credit what credit where credit is due. So Trent being a real originator, struggling a lot to get to this place in his career, and his career really took off with this album. It's a great album. It is great for dealing with your more darker emotions, and an important album personally for me. Then we got number one spot, Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, which I think is the best double album as well. The best album of the 90s in my opinion, and I definitely recommend it super highly. There can be said a lot about it. The most famous track is 1979 and Tonight Tonight, but the album has so many layers. I mean, even the top 5 tracks are total classics, but then the whole album is just so interesting, where he would go from extreme to extreme, just pushing himself so much, and the result was just mind-blowing. It's definitely the best album of the 90s. So, see you guys later.